What's going on, Betty? Did I ask you for any supper? I don't remember asking you for any.
There's someone here who wants to see you.
Is it a student looking for a letter of recommendation for some scholarship or other? Or is that a graduate student hoping that I'll direct their doctoral thesis? Or is it a journalist wanting to interview me for my latest book?
I don't think she wants a scholarship. She's an older woman.
Yeah, you must have told her that I can't see her.
I feel sorry for her.
What about me? Why don't you feel sorry for me? I have 3 articles pending, 2 prologues, a conference paper on the Tokyo Symposium, and proofs that need to be reviewed for volume 3 of the history of contemporary Europe.
Couldn't you just give her 5 minutes? 3 minutes? She's a little old lady.
Oh, you're too kind, Betty. Okay, I'll give her a minute just for you.
Good evening.
Hello.
I know you're a busy man.
Actually, I do have a lot to do, madam.
Robinson,
Well,
Harriet
then,
Robinson.
Well then, Mrs. Robinson.
You can call me Harriet.
Very well, Harriet. You wanted to see me? Have you seen enough?
I read the first 2 volumes of your book, The History of Contemporary Europe,
Oh, you read them.
at the public library.
It doesn't matter if you bought the books or not, Harriet. What matters is that you read them. You may sit down. The History of Contemporary Europe is my Sistine Chapel. My 9th Symphony, my Everest. Here are the proofs of volume 3. It's coming out in May.
It's a massive.
It's a unique body of work.
It is impressive, yes, sir. But
But what?
chapter 27, the Dreyfus affair.
I'm quite familiar with chapter 27. What's the matter with it?
With all due respect, it didn't happen that way.
No, that chapter is backed up by a considerable amount of research and documentation. What do you mean it didn't happen that way?
With all due respect, it didn't.
And what do you know, madam?
I was there in Paris when they started to bully poor Captain Dreyfus.
You were there. Pardon me, madam. I know you're not to blame. It's the fault of the heads of Department of Education. They've succeeded in making people illiterate in history. People confuse Charlemagne with Alexander the Great. They think that Garibaldi was a cyclist. People can't even get one important date in history right, Mrs. Robinson. The Dreyfus affair started in 1894.
The 10th of October. That's the day they arrested the captain, not the 13th. The fact is that they didn't make it public until the 13th because they feared that then they would.
All right, you're going to have to forgive me, Harriet, but as you can see, I'm quite busy. But yeah, if you jot down your telephone number with my wife, she'll arrange a meeting and we'll continue this interesting conversation.
You're right that his last words to the jury were, "I love France. I'm an innocent man." No, Dreyfus did not say that, or anything else for that matter. He was so overwhelmed with emotion and tears that he couldn't speak. I also found some discrepancies in chapter 74.
The Battle of Verdun.
The trenches were not the way you described them.
All right, now this has gone too far. What right do you have to say that?
I have the right because I was there.
So you were there. And so that you're just going to tell me that you were there during the bombing of Guernica.
I'm in the photo, right under the screaming horse.
From what nut house did you escape? Who the devil are you?
I'm Darwin's tortoise.
What?
Charlie did a drawing of me. You can see it in chapter 7 of his book on the origins of species. Although I must admit, I've changed a bit since then. When I boarded the boat, I was 28 springs old. That is to say that I must have been born in 1808. I can't tell you the exact date I was born, but I like March 28th. Sounds pretty good to me. So I celebrate my birthday on March 28th. Oh, the first 28 years of life were all about food and sex, and I really didn't think about much anything else. Well, all that changed when those Englishmen landed on the island. I've never seen an Englishman before then. Well, I've never seen people. They seem so strange to me. People, I mean. Curiosity got the better of me, so I climbed onto the ship just to take a look around, and before I knew it, we were high at sea. When Captain Fitzroy discovered me on board, he said, "We'll make a soup for the entire crew." But Charlie wouldn't allow it. He took me down to his cabin and put me in a wash bin. Don't worry, Harry. No, you heard that right. Harry, the greatest naturalist in history, couldn't tell the difference between a male tortoise and a female one. Even though it's fair to say that you can't see it clearly in turtles as you do in your species. In any case, Charlie used to call me Harry. And that really confused me. I couldn't figure out who to be attracted to. I didn't decide to change my name to Harriet until World War II, when a Scottish parachutist.
All right, that's enough. Mrs. Robinson, considering your age, I'm trying to be patient. Look, I know that we'll all get there sooner or later. Dementia and Alzheimer's. It's sad, but I can't help you. I have a cousin who's a psychiatrist. My wife will give you his phone number, and now if you don't mind,
You think I'm a crazy old woman? You don't believe I'm Darwin's tortoise?
You are not a tortoise of any kind, madam. Darwin's or anyone else's. Although your face does bear some resemblance to a turtle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other people's faces might look like a dog or a monkey. You are short-necked, and that hump on your back could be taken for a shell. I can see why people in your neighborhood might call you the tortoise.
You don't believe me. So, how do you explain this? You may touch it.
Oh, it's very strange. Yeah. It's a rare skin condition, but that does not make you a tortoise. You walk on 2 feet, you talk, you even read.
I've evolved. Charlie foresaw this possibility. He refers to this in chapter 13. In extreme circumstances, matter may evolve at an accelerated rate. He called this exponential evolution caused by extraordinary stimulation. And believe me, I've had my share of extraordinary stimulations. The moment I boarded the ship, incredible things started happening to me. I've gone here, there, everywhere history has led me. I've seen the opening of the Eiffel Tower and the burning of Reichstag. I watched the Germans march into Paris and the Americans land in Normandy. I've seen October Revolution and Perestroika. I never really thought much about it, but lately I've come to realize that my memory is an asset. Why not offer it to a professional in exchange for a little help? I went to the library to do some research in the history section, and I found your 2 volumes. So big and with so many errors. I thought I could help this man. He could be my biographer, and I could tell him everything. I could reveal facts that he would never find out at any other source, like, what did Lenin say on his deathbed? What was the cause of John Paul I's death? I can tell you in return for a little something. But if you think I'm a crazy old woman, then I'll find myself another historian. I have a list right here.
In return for a little something. In return for what?
I want to go back home. I want to go back to the Galapagos and die there. But I need help. I don't have my identification papers, and without papers, I won't be allowed to go anywhere. At my age, I can't just swim there. On March 28th, I'll be 200 years old. A warning, Professor. My identity must remain a secret. There are people out there who want to get rid of me.
Who? Why?
There are people who'd be better off if I forget. People who want to shut me up so that no one would ever find out what only I can remember. I fear for my life. No one can know who I am. Absolutely no one. Not even your lovely wife, Professor.